The forest stretched to the east, and each bird sang its song. A unicorn chimed in a feast, and in a
Presence of family and friends to unite Alex Rankin and Danielle Sanders in marriage. Alex and Danielle today publicly declare their commitment to each other, to their close friends and family who are the very special ones who have been asked to bear witness to their union and share in this celebration of joy today. Love is a profound experience which deepens and enriches our personalities and enhances our lives. Two people should unite to work and stay together to build a meaningful and rich future that is founded on hope, trust, and respect. To honor this hope, Alex and Danielle would like to invite Leanne Cole, Danielle's cousin, to the meeting. You can be seated for this. Alex and Danielle have chosen to write their own vows of love and commitment to one another. Alex, you may now read your vow.
Danielle, in our time together, you have stunned me with your drive and dedication to your mission. I'm carrying this for your plans, your intelligence, your humor, and your willingness to always be there to stop your friend who's been so amazing. You were always there for me, and always cared for me in the best ways you can. Helped change me for the better in many ways, and made me want to be better on my own and others. In all our time living together, I've learned everything about you that makes me truly, deeply love you in the way I never imagined. All of the small habits and quirks that are hidden from most, and that only I get to see, are what make you so unique and so special to me. In this time, I've learned how to take care of you, how to know when you need to laugh or just be heard, how to sense when you want to be hugged or just need some space. And most importantly, I've learned how to notice when you're beginning to get hungry. And what happens if I don't hear that every time. I promise I will always be there for you, no matter what the future holds. I promise not to pull away and withdraw when things get tough, and to face any challenge we come across head on and together. I promise I will always love you, and never stop doing the little things day to day that make you smile or remove some of your stress. I promise to tell you how breathtakingly, stunningly beautiful you are every single day for the rest of our lives. And I promise that none of that will change.
Danielle, you may now read your vows.
Alex, you are my best friend, my partner, and my better half. When I am with you, I feel like I am truly whole. You are my rock, my light, and my joy. You make me a better person, and I am so deeply grateful for who you are. Today, I start the hard work of making now into always. Today, I choose you as my spouse. I choose to build a future with you as my number one. I vow to support you, inspire you, listen to you, and learn from you. I vow to celebrate all triumphs by your side and face any adversity arm in arm. I promise to choose you every day and to love and respect you as a person, a partner, and an equal. I love you deeply, and today I marry you with no hesitation or doubt, as my commitment to you is absolute. And together, I know we can conquer anything.
Alex and Danielle have chosen to wear wedding rings as a symbol of their love and commitment and the vows that they are making today. May I please have the rings? Yes. Alex, do you know of any lawful reason why you should not be joined in matrimony to Danielle? Will you place the ring on Danielle's finger? Alex, will you have Danielle to be your lawfully wedded wife, to share your life with her, and do you pledge that you will love, respect, and care for her throughout all of the days of your life? Danielle, do you know of any lawful reason why you should not be joined in matrimony to Alex?
No.
It's definite. Danielle, will you place the ring on Alex's finger? Danielle, will you have Alex to be your lawfully wedded husband, to share your life with him, and do you pledge that you will love, respect, and care for him through all the days of your life? This 15th day of July 2017 marks the day that the covenant of marriage has been entered into between Alex Branton and Danielle Sanders. We will now sign the marriage register over to the right. Having witnessed Alex and Danielle consenting together and offering vows to each other in the presence of their family and friends, by virtue of the powers vested in me under the Marriage Act of Ontario, I do hereby pronounce Danielle and Alex to be husband and wife. Alex, you may kiss the bride. I now have the pleasure of presenting to you for the very first time, as husband and wife, Alex and Danielle. Cue the ambassadors.
Cue the music. Music. We'll walk anyway. It's fine. Let's go.
There we go.
Oh, sorry.
Should be.
Actually, why don't you take a picture?
Okay, now you guys.
Okay, so
One at a time.
who are we doing?
Yeah, with Alex. That's nice. Get it going. Perfect. Get it together. Okay. Sorry. I know.
You can get one with you and me.
We did. We got a lot of them.
Oh, up there.
No, here. Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
That's nice.
It's gonna go.
Hey, look at
you know?
So we're doing one with
Okay, actually, we'll do one of us.
Yeah.
at Lindsay's wedding.
And Alex and I.
Okay. Oh, am I done?
Hold on. Hold on. Hey, getting kind of gross here, guys. So one with Alex
You're right.
and I and Trevor.
Okay. And then Melanie and Richard.
Oh, it's a lot of lipstick.
Yeah,
Like
for the
the ladies with real love it.
Oh, does that mean I have lipstick on my teeth in all the pictures?
Maybe. So they can wipe it out.
Can they?
Yes.
Okay, good thanks. Is it gone?
I'm sure you can see it. If I started musing.
It's really on there. I was like, really? I've been scrubbing your teeth with my acrylic nails. You now rub it.
I know, I'm the funniest guy I know.
Better.
Could use some comments.
Okay.
Get a room. Get a room.
Okay, pardon me then.
Good evening.
Yeah, and I
Tonight
wish I
we're
knew
interested
that
in a brewery tour of the steam whistle facility. The first 15 people who come to the bar will take them around for a 15-minute tour. Cheers.
My friends are like beeline.
Go, go, go.
Now from the bride side of the family, let me hear you make some noise. Okay, now let's get the show on the road. Coming in right now, married for 32 years, Richard and Kathy Branson, the groom's parents. Introducing to you, married for 31 years, Danielle's parents, Susan Rogers and Bill Sanders. Now introducing you the bridesmaids, the lovely bridesmaids over 21 years of friendship with Danielle, Amy Bailey and Karen Weissing. Is Alex's sister and her fiance, Lindsay Branson and Brendan Lundy. Amanda Carson and Chris Ridgway. Now coming in is Brendan Sanders and Misha Cole. The bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Alex and Danielle Saunders. Wearing a brand new 60-year-old hat. Now you ask yourself how that's possible. It's, in the words of Ed Norton, well, I bought it 60 years ago, and I never had anything important enough to wear it to. Now I thought to myself, well, you had 2 kids get married, but okay, fair enough, you know? So no, the ladies look very nice. Now the gentlemen, you know, I have to compliment you as well. You know, I got a word for you guys, and it's wow. And a little bit different. I saw some of your pictures, and like searching for a word, and that word I came up with was breathtaking. As in, look. So, you know, I'm very fond of saying, you know, it's difficult to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And no offense to a lot of the guys in this room here, but boy, there wasn't a lot of chicken for some of you guys, right? So you did the very best you can, and you look great. And you look great. So, am I supposed to do something else? Usually I'll keep talking until I remember the next thing, so I gotta look. Oh yes, that was it. And then, so just one last housekeeping thing. The speeches are going to be while we are eating. as opposed to while they're cleaning up, which Danielle and Sue and people were quite concerned about that, and I said, look, you know, half of the room is going to be full of men. They are experts at eating and somebody talking to them. We can watch television at the same time, right? So really, we can do all three of those things. Of course, we have no idea what you ladies said to us when you're finished, but we can do all that. So what we decided is no television, but we would eat while you talk. So I think that's reasonable. So boys, don't let me down, pay attention. Okay, so everybody have a great time and we'll be back later. Thank you.
I know they say that parents don't have favorites, but growing up, I was unquestionably my parents' favorite child. Unlike my little brother, I cleaned up after myself. I tried to stay quiet when my parents were sleeping after a night shift, and I did a very mean rendition of Spice Up Your Life in full Sporty Spice costume. Alex, however, left his toys everywhere. Did not care who was trying to sleep when he was in the midst of one of his incredibly loud temper tantrums. And he made no efforts to provide us with any musical entertainment. Alex and I are about 3 years apart, so as we both attended high school, the reasons my parents had to favor me only became more apparent. I was not coming home intoxicated on a Wednesday night at 15. I was not failing careers in civics. I showered. So while I was captain of the soccer team, head of student council, starring in plays and receiving scholarships, Alex was failing drama, failing careers in civics, and eventually dropped out of high school altogether for a brief period of time. My parents struggled to figure out what to do with him. I decided to apply to university for theater, so things were all around starting to go downhill. At this point, Alex and his very long, black, greasy hair disappeared into the basement. He spoke in grunts and appeared only for food. Then, one day, just before the end of his final year of high school, he emerged from the basement with one announcement. I will be a visual effects artist. The boy, who I'm pretty sure was not even enrolled in high school at the time, sent a demo reel to a postgraduate program at Seneca. They initially rejected his application since they don't accept high school students, and Alex just replied with, no, you need to see this. Apparently he was right, and Seneca accepted him. Alex's high school teachers, elated that he had finally decided to do something with his life, passed him with 51s so that he could start school at Seneca. Needless to say, as I spent thousands of dollars a semester to effectively play dress up, for the first time in our lives, my status as favorite child was in jeopardy. As Alex thrived in his postgraduate program and graduated with multiple job offers, including one to return to Seneca to teach, I dropped out of university. Things were not looking good for me. Over the next couple years, Alex could do no wrong. While he received praise from faculty and students as an instructor at Seneca, I bounced between various universities. While he explored jobs away from home, I moved my now fiance into my parents' basement. Then, to our dismay, Alex received multiple job offers from a studio in Vancouver. They fought from many studios in Vancouver, actually. They fought over him, and eventually he landed a better job at a bigger movie studio and purchased a downtown Vancouver condo, all before even leaving Brampton. So, despite all my efforts, I've never been able to come back from this. I had hoped that Alex's success would turn him into an arrogant snob, or that he would move away to Vancouver and forget all about his measly family back home. But he did not. I can honestly say that Alex is one of the most generous, funny, and caring people I know. Plus, he has great taste in scotch and is much better at adulting than the rest of us. It is humbling to reflect on how things have changed over the years. We used to beat the crap out of each other, and now he hugs me every night before bed when he's home. He used to make me enraged with his mere presence, and now I miss him every day. I used to be his big sister, but now for all intents and purposes, he is my big brother. The only thing that has made me happier than having Alex for a brother is the fact that as of today, I now officially have the sister I always wanted. When I first traveled to Vancouver to see Alex and meet Danielle, she greeted me with a cashew-based cheesecake and a bottle of red wine. I believe my exact words were "welcome to the family." After being around Alex and Danielle for just a few short hours, I said to Alex, "Could I get attached to this one?" Luckily, the answer to that question was a resounding yes. My family is bigger, better, and more fun now that I can call Danielle my sister. I am so happy that my brother has married such an intelligent and hilarious woman. I know that Danielle will take Alex on endless adventures and encourage him to explore the world outside of his studio. I know that Alex will help Danielle stay grounded and provide her with the support she needs to be her best self. Together, you are unstoppable.
It was a really daunting task to think about what we would say about Danielle. There has been countless memories and inside jokes, and so what Amanda and I decided to do was just choose 2 words that described Danielle and elaborate on that. So the first word that I chose was safety. Entering into a new school in grade 3 had been the most terrifying thing I had done as a 7-year-old person. By the grace of luck, Danielle was my seat partner, and if you ask Danielle what her early memories of me were, it's stealing erasers and probably braiding my hair. If you ask me, I would say I don't necessarily have a memory, but as Maya Angelou says, you don't remember what people say or what they do, but you remember how they make you feel. And I remember Danielle making me feel safe. Now, my favorite memory of Danielle's safety is when the cute new boy in our school decided that he had a fondness for Danielle, and actually he happened to be quite a bully to me. So Valentine's Day rolled around and he decided to buy Danielle a box of chocolates. And he hands her this chocolates, he's probably hoping for this great response. She takes the chocolate, she passes me a chocolate, and she shoves it back to him and says, "Keep your damn chocolates, you're not nice to my friend."
My first word is student. I'm sure you've all experienced Danielle's commitment to dedication to learning in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be through her education, her affinity to trying new things and exploring new places, her inquisitiveness about meeting new people, and her ongoing exploration of learning about herself. Ironically, although we spent so much time in school together, the most inspiring representation of her as a student was when we traveled to India to do our yoga teacher training together. For 6 weeks, Danielle was committed to being authentic and honest with herself, which in turn inspired me to do the same. Watching Danielle through this experience taught me the invaluable lesson that being a student doesn't end when you graduate.
My second word for Danielle is inspiration. It's said that if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people. And I look at my life now and see the success that I have, and I really feel that it's rooted in the wonderful people that I got to grow up with. And it's nice to see many of them here this evening. Danielle has, and her whole family in fact, a commitment to health and fitness that is unparalleled. I remember rolling out of bed 10 minutes before going to school, coming in and hearing Danielle had done laps that morning before her first round of swim lessons that day. So now while I'm working out, I use Danielle as my inspiration. She not only inspired me physically, she has inspired me educationally. I try to choose as many opportunities in my life to brag about her educational career. But probably the thing that inspires me the most about Danielle is her commitment to be herself. Danielle has an unwavering core to be authentic, and she demands that of you if you're her friend. And through that, Danielle has helped me speak my truth in my life, and I'm forever grateful. I also want to add that Danielle's family is the most incredible family that I have ever seen in my whole life. And I really want to thank you, Sue and Phil. We had a really tight-knit group of kids. Our neighborhood was something out of a 1950s TV show, it seemed like. And you know, you guys raised really wonderful children, and that effect has not just happened on them, but the whole Linwood gang, so thank you.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Thank you everybody for coming tonight. We got some people from faraway lands as far east as Rice Lake, Gilbert, Port Hope, far east as Victoria, or far west. Well, if you keep going east, yeah, they came all the way, horse and buggy. They left last year. So, we'd like to thank Phil and Sue. This is mostly their deal. They put a lot of money and time into it. I think they did an excellent job, so let's give them a round of applause. He and Alex's father, and mother, but father I know more. I know more of the secret. Hey, you get yours. I got some pretty good stories for Alex. But first, I got a bit of bragging rights. Alex is smart, intelligent, good looking, just like me, you know. I'm a little more smarter, but Alex isn't as smart as he always thought he was. One day he went to Loblaws with his late Nana. This was when he was younger. He decided to stick his hands up inside his coat, do it up, put his feet under one of them brass bars, and lean forward. And needless to say, he come home with his face smashed in. That wasn't too bright. Then he went through his video game days. He won a Blockbuster, ran a video game, and then 5 minutes later after playing it, I don't like this one, let's go back and get a different one. Well, that about, I don't know, 10 times he went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until he found one he liked. Alex kind of share girlfriends. All I can say is to Danielle, oh, thank God you're here. You got some bills. Thank God. You got the right one. The best advice I can give my son is that old saying, happy wife, happy life. Don't ever forget that. I think you already know. Just remember, a married couple here, you become one. You never bring the other one down. You always encourage the other one and work out problems together.
Unlike Richard, I could talk a lot. I could go on and on and on, but I won't. Other than to say a few things about my wonderful son. There's an old saying that starts off that says a son is a son till he takes a wife, but that's not true. In my case, Alex will always be my little baby, no matter how old he gets. He could be 50 and I'll still be calling him my baby, because that's what he'll always be. That's not to say, though, that he was always the ray of sunshine, wonderful guy that he is now. When he was a baby, not so much. He started to cry on the day he was born, and he didn't shut up until he was about 2. And there were many times that I probably would have sold him for a nickel if I could have found somebody to take him. Nobody would, because he cried too much. But then one day he stopped crying, and then he just started running. And he ran everywhere. Everything he did, everywhere he went, he had to run. So if I asked him to go get something, he would say, "Time me," and he'd run. And he would take off, and he'd come back and say, "How long?" And I'd say, "That was 30 seconds. And he'd go, "Okay, let me do it better." And he'd run away and come back and say, "How long was that?" And I'd lie and tell him it was like 40. So he'd say, "I can do it better." And then he'd run away and do it again. So he just kept running and running and running. But then finally one day he stopped and he started to settle down, finished high school, went to college, and got a great life and a great job doing visual effects. And my mom and I always used to say to him, because he always said, "You know, I can do this job anywhere in the world." And my mom and I always used to say to him, "You should do that. You should go around the world and travel while you can, while you have no ties." And then one day he came home and told me he got a job in Vancouver, and little work left me. And I didn't realize it was possible to be so happy and so sad at the same time, because I just miss him every day when he's not here. But if he hadn't gone to Vancouver, he wouldn't have met the wonderful girl that is now my daughter-in-law. And I'm so happy that they found each other. And I'll never forget the first time I met Danielle, when Richard and I went out for a visit. And it just struck me right away as such a wonderful young woman, very smart, very savvy, very intelligent, and I just loved her right away. And towards the end of our trip, Alex and I were sitting on the couch, and he said to me, "So, Mom, what do you think?" He said, "Do you like her?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "I think she's wonderful." And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "I think she might be the one." And I said, "Yeah, I think so too." And he said to me, "Why?" And then he said, no, he says, "I know why." And he said, "Why do you think why?" And I told him, and I said, "Because the first day we met her, when we were sitting in the apartment and she came home from work, and Alex got up to go greet her when she came in the door, to give her a hug and a kiss, and he looked at her. And I said, of all the girlfriends you've had, I've never seen you look at anyone the way you looked at her." And I knew that she was the one. So as much as I miss him, I wish them both a lifetime of happiness and laughter and love. And babies, I need me some grandbabies. But I wish them very much love and happiness, and I would also like to toast to my son and my new daughter.
So anybody that knows Sue knows that she's a contrarian. I am not. But, so that's why we're at the back of the room instead of the front like everybody else. So it just kind of goes with the character. So surprise, though, I have a lot to say. The first thing is there are guest gifts. So, it's a fairly new concept to me. I didn't really understand that. I thought it was supposed to work the other way around. You get gifts, but apparently you come and we give gifts. So, okay, that was that concept, but we work with it. So there are bags out here, so when you leave, I know it's straight outside, but please, there's bags out here with one bag for everyone. I said why not one bag for a couple, but again, that was me having an opinion. That's in those bags are pancake mix and maple syrup. The pancake mix was done lovingly with a lot of effort by Alice's mom, Kathy, and we were very hard to do. Everybody's talking about Alex's latent intelligence and all this good stuff. He didn't get his math skills from Kathy, apparently, because we have about 110 people here, and she gave 144 things. So at the end of the evening, you have a bit of a pancake fetish. I would approach Kathy, make an offer. She's looking to move product, right? So, prices slashed, everything must go. So now, also in that bag is the maple syrup. And some of you may be aware that soon I have a farm, and on that farm,
You have a cow.
There's a bunch of maple trees, and one of us had the great idea that we should tap them and make maple syrup. Okay, that would be me. So we did that. We tapped the trees and collected all the sap. Now, I also had a great idea. Well, let's get an evaporator. You know, it will be a real pro operation. We'll have an evaporator. You know, we'll make a sack, make maple syrup. She said, "Oh, we'll do it for Danielle's wedding." Perfect. Oh, how can that be? No problem. So, you know, in this country, it's a wonderful country. We have 2 languages, but sometimes things get lost in translation. So I searched out this evaporator that said, you know, pretty much good, some assembly required. But fair enough, it was in French and got translated. I get the thing. I got to put the whole thing together. I have no clue what I'm doing. So I have to give some shout-outs here. The first one is to my brother Kevin, who came up. Yeah, we all love Kevin, right? So Kevin came up and we had to build this thing and brick it. It was, I'm kidding you not, 25 degrees centigrade below zero. So Kevin is a great guy. He was out there with me. We put it together. We made the evaporator, step number 1. Then our niece, Misha, helped us with a very sophisticated collection system that we have, which fundamentally is the sap goes into a bucket, and then you act like a mule, and you carry it like half a mile. Right? So she came in, I got to work on the collection system. She's such a good sport. And then, now we've got the sap, we've got the evaporator, now you got to boil this stuff. And if anybody has anything about making syrup, it's 40 to 1. So you got 40 liters of sap that you schlepped all over the place. You got 1 liter of maple syrup. So then our good friends Kevin and Mary Lee came in, and I just had to promise Kevin beer, and he was in. Like, he was in there for days. He didn't want to go, but Mary didn't go. But they came with us, and we boiled for days and days on end to get the maple syrup. So in the bag is beautiful pancake mix and maple syrup, and we hope you all enjoy. Now, Sue and I would also like to thank Kathy and Richard for the lovely rehearsal dinner we had last night. It was very much in the Sanders Rogers mode, which is lots of party and not so much rehearsal. So we're very good at that. We're not saying rehearsal, but it's very lovely. Thank you very much. Everybody had a great time. Danielle and Alex, you guys were spectacular. You know, they introduced the starting lineups. You know, they went around and told everybody who wrote that was very lovely, and everybody had a great time. Now, I have a personal thank you as well. Our officiant today was Mr. Justice Richard Blue. Yeah, who I think did a spectacular job. Rick and I have been friends since the 70s, and most of people were alive then, but yes, some of us were. And we've been friends forever. And so this is a personal thing, because I know Danielle and Alex will take it, but, you know, Rick and I go back so far, we go back to school, we lived together a couple times. Not like that, not because there's anything wrong with that, but we lived together. So we lived over a used car lot. So, and I think about that all the time, you know, at times were tough, you know, but, you know, it was such a bad place that Rick had this feeder of a yellow Vega that people kept wanting to buy from him, you know, but it was such a slum, and in all seriousness, I'm thinking about today, and I thought, wow, this is almost surreal. I can assure you, when we were in that flea trap, we never had a discussion about today. You know, it was never a possibility. Right. So thank you to Rick. Thank you. Very much. Okay, so I'll add a little story to this. You know, you think about a day like today, you think about how this works. It's simple, right? You know, two people meet, they fall in love, you get married, you have a big party. Right? Easy, it's done. Well, let me tell you, it doesn't always work exactly that way. So in my experience, nothing like this is a straight line, there's a lot of ups and downs. So I just want to tell you a little bit of the story from my perspective about how we got here today. So Danielle and I have always talked a lot. Now I like to think it's because, you know, 4:30 in the morning, you know, we're driving to the pool, you know, we're bonding, you know. Well, the truth is we listened to CBC overnight. She dreamed about cold water, and all I could think about was caffeine loading. So we probably didn't really talk that much. The truth is when she went to Yukon in Connecticut, I said, look, I'll pay for your cell phone, but you gotta call all the time. So that was really what started it all. So we paid for the cell phone, she phoned us all the time, so we started to talk about it. So not surprisingly, over time, the subject of boys came up. Now, no, I wasn't giving dating advice or anything like that. That's clearly way above my pay grade. But what I could give advice on is sort of like, what are men thinking? You know, like that kind of thing. Now, I didn't really have a heart to tell her up front that when maybe it's not a lot, really. You know, but so, you know, I gotta say, you know, like, you know, when a woman asks a guy, like, you know, what are you thinking? And he answers nothing. And the woman's thinking, oh, you know, he's really deep and mysterious. No, he's not. And he said, nothing. So, you know, so Danielle, this is sort of the start of my job as a gender consultant. That's how I look at it. You know, I was a gender consultant. I was the person that Danielle would call to try to understand what men are thinking. So I thought, you know, what could possibly go wrong? You know, we have modern technology as well. You can go online and you can scan, you know, you can pre-screen, you know, like pina coladas, like pina colada in the rain, you know. It's like, okay, you can easily find somebody. So, you know, what could possibly go wrong? Like I said. So, bear with me. We're getting to it. So, now I'm very fond of saying, you know, it's really tough to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, right? Like, so, and I gotta tell, the single guys in this room, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. Okay, when a woman asks you, what are your goals in life? You telling her reaching level 15 of World of Warcraft is not really something that's going to wow. Right? Now, it's going to wow your buddies, but her not so much. And when she asks you, where do you live? The wrong answer is absolutely in my mother's basement. And the fact that your bedroom is decorated like the bridge in the Starship Enterprise really doesn't help, okay? So it's not really a killer. So this is where we were at. Now, I gotta be honest, I was pretty discouraged and you know, got let down. And you know, the thing about that is that, you know, maybe I'm Mr. Happy, you know, first of all, and all I'm thinking, but this can't get any worse. This can't possibly get any worse. And you know, when everyone tells you that, know that it can. So then she comes with my all-time personal favorite. She agrees to meet with this guy at a coffee shop for coffee and get to know him. He shows up unshowered in his bathrobe. So at that point in time, I'm ready to give up. I'm not worried about Danielle anymore. I'm worried about mankind. I think the species is going to come to an end. Forget global warming. We're doomed. I'm looking into cryogenics. You know, I'm going to have myself frozen. I'm going to join Ted Williams. And that should be ahead 200 years. And I'm going to be in big demand. And so that's kind of where we sit. And then one day the phone rings, and it's, you know, caller ID, it's Danielle, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, she's going to tell me the guy showed up dressed like Waldo, you know, but no, she says, Dad, I found somebody. Oh, really? He's smart and kind and sensitive and warm, and he can hold a conversation. I'm thinking, sign him up right? Sign them up. We're good. And but then there was more, you know. I didn't even thought, you know, I won't even ask about the living stuff, right? You know, listen, you know, my brother Kevin, like I talked about, he's a great guy. He lived in the basement forever. The only reason he's here today is my stepmother sold the house out from underneath him. Well, that's actually not fair. That's not true. What really happened is the new owners changed the locks. And he kept going back. He thought he was a fixture and went with the place. So, and he's a great guy. Slow starter, but he's a great guy. So no, but she says, no, he has his own place. And then, I can't even ask about the J word. And she says, he has a job. And wait for it. It pays money. Oh, now I'm in total. And she says, you know, this guy's special. And I'm thinking, and then she closes the deal. She says, Dad, and guess what? He's a huge Maple Leaf fan. So all I can think is my prince has come, my prince has come. I mean, Danielle's prince, I mean, Danielle's prince has come. No, sorry. And you know what? The great part of this story, which I know since you've been I'm not looking, is that when we met Alex, he was all of those things, only better. And the more time we spend with him, the more dazzled I am that we are, and the more thankful we are that we're all here today. And it's a very, very special day for Sue and I, because it's the very first day of us having a son at home. So, Alex, we're so happy to have you that you have no idea. And where that guy is, in his bathrobe and unshowered, I have no idea, but I can bet your ass that he's not at a wedding, right? Especially his own. So thank you so much.
Well, you all know us, so you know you can't keep us away from Mike or to Mike yet. So, I also want to thank Kathy for everything that she's done for the wedding. And she's doing it while working full-time and preparing for her daughter Lindsay's wedding next week. So, amazing. And I want to wish Lindsay and Brennan all the best next week as they take their turn to walk down the aisle. So, I'd like to give a shout out to my niece, Misha, who got me totally organized for the wedding and for the shower, and I so needed that while I was living in the chaos of a renovation. That was a good idea to do for the wedding. Anyway, I love you very much, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank Amanda and her mom Deborah, Amy, and Misha for putting on a beautiful, beautiful shower. It was a high tea. It was really, really fun. It really well put together last Saturday. So thank you, girls. I know this may come as a shock to those of you who know me, but I've had occasional clarity in my life. As Danielle will tell you, I knew when I set eyes on Phil that he was the man I should and would marry, and that I would have children with. And it came to be. And I want you to know that I did not know the gender of my children before we had them. But when Phil and I got engaged, he proposed to me. We went for a walk, and we talked about how we would name our firstborn daughter Danielle. And that was long before she was even anywhere near a reality. And then when I was pregnant for the first time, I was in a fabric store, and I really can't remember why I would be in a fabric store, because it's not something I do. But I saw a beautiful little girl, about 3 or 4, with dark brown hair and bangs. And I thought to myself, that's what my baby's going to look like. And sure enough, I got a beautiful little girl with dark hair and bangs. And that beautiful little girl was born with an abundance of natural talent and a few natural-born challenges. We watched as she made the absolute most of her talents, bravely and directly the struggles that her challenges brought her from time to time. For Danielle, the question always seemed to be, why do an operation once when you can do it 2 times? Heart, shoulder, whatever. And now, we watched as she went through life, and we felt so gratified that her friends and our friends and family supported her during her ups and downs. Everyone with an iota of common sense who knows Danielle and spends time with her knows that no matter what she has to face, or no matter what she makes you suffer, there is always the joy, the goofiness, the love, the devotion that is Danielle. And you can always eventually come back to it. And you cannot help but notice that she loves her friends and family so very deeply and so very fiercely. That makes it all worthwhile. It should come as no surprise that Danielle has the ability to surround herself with the very best people who are very much represented here today. And now at 30, Danielle has become the daughter, the friend of our dreams. A strong, passionate, loving, courageous, and fun woman who has devoted herself to preparing for a career about which she is passionate, who constantly surprises with her maturity, who always loves deeply, and who has retained a sense of joy and goofiness that has defined her throughout. But as the cherry on top, the pièce de résistance, the magnificent dessert, the best of all, she has found the man of her dreams. With Alex from the beginning, we knew she had found her partner in crime, brilliant, successful, smart about life, sensitive, sensible. He is her rock, her foundation, her shoulder to cry on, her fellow goof, all of which she now will have for the rest of her life. We could not be more proud of him or more happy that they have found each other. It is so clear that they adore each other and complement each other and will be there for each other for the rest of their lives. And with such a wonderful person as Danielle's chosen partner, we expected that it must come from a wonderful, loving family, and we were confirmed in that. We are so happy that we now have Kathy, Richard, Lindsay, and Brennan as part of our extended family, and look forward to lots of fun times to come. Danielle and Alex, we love you very, very much, and look forward to being there supporting you and sharing with you this adventure called your life together.
So we're almost done, I promise. So this is the hard part for me. Probably comes as no shock to anybody who's known me for a while. I actually never wanted to be a father. I had a very good life and had a lot of fun. My idea of a goal was working on a perfect tan every year. So, so after time though, I sort of thought I could do a grandfather. I could do that, like have him for a little while, spoil him, send him home. Sue was very patient with me and explained to me that was probably going to be tough. And that there really was an intermediate step. And so very, very reluctantly, she worked on me for a long time, I finally agreed when I signed up. And said, well, it wasn't all bad, there were good parts, but, hey, I really didn't think was sure I wanted to be a dad, but could. And I was really, quite frankly, more concerned about being a good dad and could I do it and how would that go. And then, so I signed up and applied and we were fortunate enough to get pregnant. And then on May the 3rd, 1987, my entire life changed. It was the most of my life when they handed me this little pink bundle. And my thought for today, try to come up with one word about what that meant to me. And the word I came up with was smitten. I was just absolutely smitten with this little person. And you know what? I would do anything for her. And here I am, 30 years later, and the only difference is I would do more. Danielle, I love you very much. You're amazing. You are everything. I can't say really want to do that. So, thank you.
You guys go back and sit down. Go back and sit down.
One more thing to say. We've got a piece of advice that when you hit the potholes in life, everybody's talking about all the good stuff, you're going to hit some potholes. And when you hit the potholes, this is what your mom and I say to both of you guys.
Thank you for that. So first of all, I just obviously want to thank everyone for coming. It means a lot to both of us that you've all been here for us for today, so thank you. I'd also like to thank Danielle for making all of this possible by saying yes when I asked her to marry me. Pretty important step in this. And for everything she's done to make this night come together. She put a lot of work into this. It was very impressive, so thank you. While we're on the subject of Danielle, I want to thank my mom and my sister for preparing me for all of the challenges that come with living with a woman. And in particular with getting married with the so many episodes of Say Yes to the Dress. So many. And of course I want to thank my mom for all the effort she put into the pancake mix for everyone. And just to reiterate, as Phil said, that's one per person, not per couple, so take a whole bunch. I'd also like to thank my dad for setting a fantastic example on how to be a father and a dedicated husband. And for everyone for helping to work. Of course, we want to thank Danielle's parents, Phil and Sue, and all those who helped them, Misha, Kevin, and everyone else. for all their hard work in the maple syrup, creating that from scratch. I had no idea how much work was involved, so it means a lot that you guys did that, so thank you very much. They also provided the bars, so a big round of applause. Never looks bigger.
And we are allowing shots, so feel free to grab a couple of those.
Thanks, Phil.
More importantly than their contributions to the wedding, I want to thank both of them specifically for raising such an incredible daughter. So lucky to have found you. And thank you for being so kind and generous and welcoming into your family. And then finally, we'd like to thank everyone else who was involved. Steam Whistle for the fantastic venue. Marigolds and Onions for the great food that we had tonight and all of the catering. And we'd like to thank Tristan and Jenna, the photographers, who have been taking many, many pictures of all of you. So now I'll hand this off to Danielle.
Thank you. So I've been dying to get at this mic. I have my father's gift of the gab, but given the length of his speech, I'm gonna cut mine a little bit short, just so I don't bore all of you. He's just, Dad, you're great. I want to thank our officiant, Justice Fluid, who also happens to be my godfather. I don't know if that was mentioned. And he's a very close family friend, as my dad had mentioned. So I can't express how much this means to Alex and I, to have someone that, knows me so well, and also that the man marrying us was an expert in changing my diaper. So, he can take any shit that I throw at him. Something Alex has learned to do as well. So I want to thank my stunning bridesmaids. I can't ask for a more remarkable group of friends to stand by my side on this special day. Thank you for Amy and Amanda for making me sob. Thank you to Lindsay for making me laugh. Thank you for Karen for supporting me through this whole thing, and Misha for keeping my mother sane and hauling sap like a mule, apparently. Thank you. You guys have both been so supportive of Alex and I love you so much, and I'm so lucky to have all of you. Thank you to Kathy and Richard for your contribution to our day. It's been mentioned a number of times, and I'm so unbelievably grateful. And thank you for creating this special human who is now my husband. I'm not an easy person to live with as a partner, and this guy makes it look effortless. We're getting an annulment after the next one. I'm not, so I don't remember an exact moment when I kind of knew Alex was the one. But there was a specific instance where I knew I'd come across someone special, someone who could handle my critical nature, of which it's quite dominant, with a sense of humor. About 2 weeks into living together, I had asked him to put away the towels I had just folded. Now, for those of you that don't know, Alex is not allowed to do laundry. 1, because I'm neurotic about my clothes. 2, because he folds like he's one-handed. Like, just not okay. So as he's crumpling my beautifully folded towels into the drawer, he must have caught me watching him with what must have been absolute fury on my face. And he stands up just as I'm about to open my mouth to criticize him, looks at me and says, "It's an effing towel, relax." And I was speechless. And then I burst out laughing, and I figured if someone can get me to go from a laundry-induced rage to laughing, I have found someone truly unique. I did that simply by calling out my neuroses. So speaking of my neuroses, I think it's only fair to mention my parents, who endowed me with lovely characteristics. They're not at all high-strung, if you hadn't noticed. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all your efforts in the wedding preparations. You've mentioned it quite a number of times of how much work it actually was, and I truly do appreciate it. From spending hours upon hours of boiling sap into syrup, to harassing everyone for your pictures, now you all know why, to visiting every Michael's in the GTA to make sure we got decoration supplies at the best price. We don't buy things full price, it's on sale only. And most importantly, thank you for being my parents. I actually had trouble writing this part because I didn't really know how to properly articulate my gratitude for my parents' 30 years of unconditional devotion, love, and sacrifice. Thank you both for loving me and supporting me no matter what, and sacrificing so much of your life to make mine as fulfilling as it has been. Thank you for shaping me into who I am, laundry neuroses and all. As I marry the love of my life, I want to thank you for getting me here, because without you, today would not have happened. And lastly, I want to thank each and every one of you, our honored guests, for coming. A special thanks to those that have traveled across time zones and borders. We have a couple from Wisconsin, New York City, Kamloops, Victoria, Vancouver, Quebec. Your presence is what makes this day so special and meaningful to Alex and I. To have you here supporting our union and sharing your love with us is something truly special. And to have that loving energy gathered all in one room is unique to this day, our wedding day. So we both thank you all for being here from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I could taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your life. And sooner or later it's over, I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. Tears that ain't coming, all the moment of truth in your lies. When everything feels like the movies, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want